Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We just got a new 4.1 PTU patch for today, March 18th, 2025, and we have a couple of interesting updates to go through today. There's been some fixes put in to try and help with interaction delays that have been plaguing this patch so far. We've got some further adjustments to the caves from the Aligner Mine event. There's supposed to be some new mushrooms that give off light or something in the caves, and there's going to be increased amounts of mitables. Um, we also have some other polish and things like that. There's also been some further adjustments to the loot you can find at the Hathor location, so we'll go check that out. And there's a couple other adjustments and little tweaks to things here and there, so we're gonna go see what all those things are about. So if you're interested in seeing what's the latest with the 4.1 PTU, go ahead and sit back and let's get into it. Alright, so something I wanted to look at really quick before we get into it is, on my video yesterday I had mentioned how I thought the Drake Corsair had potentially received some additional changes to its weapons, because I noticed that it had 4 or 5 size 4s and 1 size 5 on it. In the comments on that video, some people had said that it may just be a bug, or that that's how it had been for a while, but I wanted to check that again. So let's go ahead into the vehicle manager here and real quick check the Corsair, see what we have for the weapon loadout. Okay, so we got our M6A, M7A, 6A, 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 6A. Okay, so it looks like that is still the case. So the Corsair is still showing that it has 5 size 4s by default, and the single size 5. Although the gimbal mount is the right size still on the wing, that you could switch this to a size 5, so this may just be a bug. So it looks like you can still switch that to the size 5. So we'll just assume for now that it's a bug or something like that. So that is the Corsair. Let's get on to some other changes. Alright, so under the features and gameplay, under locations, we have, for the Align and Mine event, they re-added mushroom lighting into caves and increased the amount of mitables inside the caves. So it'll be a few minutes before I can go test that, because we have to get the mining laser to do its thing and open up the cave. So at some point in the video, we'll try and go test that. But that is one of the changes. There's also been further polish for the Hathor locations, as expected. Try and make those perform better. They've also added armistice zones to the Wikello collector locations. So at least it won't be as easy to get griefed or camped at these locations. I guess people could probably still ram you. But yeah, so that's a nice change. Under the AI section, they increased the juvenile Valacar vision and hearing perception ranges, so they'll probably be able to detect you a little bit easier now. And then we also have further dynamic NPC conversation additions and polish. So, listen once the patch goes live, just listen around for those NPCs, see if you notice any more new conversation lines and things like that. I bet there'll be some for the event. And probably more events that are coming up in the future. Under gameplay, we have the further loot crates and medical crate loot pass adjustments. So we are going to go check that here in a few minutes at one of the Hathor locations. And then they apparently disabled the kill animal contracts for 4.1. I know there had been several different types of those that have been in the last couple of patches, but maybe they were just not working right or something like that. So they decided to pull them from this patch, but hopefully we get those maybe in 4.1.1 or something like that. We will see. Small update under ships and vehicles. We have that they removed a unintended second fuel tank from the RSI Mantis. I guess maybe it had more fuel than it was supposed to. I'm actually going to take the Karna, I think. So that little change has been made. And then under the weapons and items, we have some SFX polish for the Volt Rifle. So I guess since I have one here, let's go ahead and test that real quick. Let's see, here we go. Okay, we're just going to go just right here. We'll just shoot it for a second, see if any noticeable changes have happened. Anything to the animations? Not really. Okay, let's just shoot it for a second. Yeah, I don't really notice anything different, so just a little bit of polish, I guess. So with that, let's go ahead and let's see if we can find some different loot contents in the Hathor locations. And while we're heading to one of the Hathor locations, I did notice, so another change that there is that we can check out is there have been a few more missions that have been updated for server meshing. So there are medical beacons, courier missions, handyman missions, prison repair missions, I believe, and the 890 jump boarding action mission. I believe the 890 jump mission is currently in 4.0.2. But I think all these other ones are new, so we'll see if we can look at some of those new missions and any other new missions there may be in this video and see what we have in terms of new mission content. Okay, here we are at the Hathor, one of the Hathor facilities. Let's go take a look at some loot boxes for a minute, see if there's any noticeable changes. Then we will go to check something else out. Okay, here we got one of the blue containers, food, ammo. We got a mining attachment. That's helpful in case you forget to bring one of those with you. We got a mining gadget. Okay, let's go check some more. You have any red crates in here? Okay, let's check this armor crate. Got some arms and the simple white undersuit. Here we have one of the medical crates. See if we have anything different here. This is different, I believe. Well, maybe I'd seen it before, but it was pretty rare for the lifeguard refill. Got some other med pens. I'd prefer if there's maybe, like you could find a med gun or something like that, or like the med gun ammo in one of those containers. That would be nice. Let's go ahead and let's check one more building, see if we can get... I'm going to grab a red key card. We'll go check one of the spaces here. And, because those have a little bit of a better variety of loot boxes. So, we're going to go check that real quick. So, I just came in one of these garages to get a red key card, but, I noticed something interesting. I haven't seen this before, but I just found there's a power plant here in this garage. And then up on this shelf, there is another power plant. I don't have a tractor beam attachment on me at the moment, but I don't remember seeing components spawning in these garages before. Is this something as well? That maybe just be set dressing. But there's components now that I'm seeing in these garages. So this is very interesting. I'm going to have to explore around a little bit more, I think, and check if there's more stuff in some of the other garages. So let's go do a little bit more exploration. Okay, now I got a tractor beam, so let's go ahead and check if we can get these components. Let's see if they're actually lootable. We got a tractor beam. There we go. Okay, so these are lootable. So we have a Regulus here. I think this is a military component. Then there's one up on the shelf here. What is this? Sonic light. I think that's maybe a stealth power plant or something like that. I think these are both power plants. I think one's a military, one's stealth. That's very interesting that there's now some components. That is a good change. So you can find components here. You don't have to necessarily go to the contested zones to get them. So this is another option to get them. So that's very cool. Let's go ahead, and I think we may be able to... I'm in this party now that we are working on the orbital laser. So in a minute here, we're going to go check out the cave, see what new updates there are to that. Just got the cave open. Took a little bit longer than I thought it would, so now we're going to go in and check out any new minables or the adjustments to how many there are and things like that. Alright, here we go. Let's go check it out. See what adjustments there are. Alright everyone, so I explored around the cave a little bit. I didn't really notice, there was more minables, I did notice that. There was a good amount more rocks that were there to be able to be mined. I didn't notice any new mushrooms that were emitting light or anything like they mentioned in the patch notes. And then I was in the middle of mining stuff and I I got blown up by someone else's rock or something. So here we are back at the at Lorville. So I think that's going to be all for checking out the mineable changes. Now I wanted to try and check out some of the updated missions for server meshing. So let's take a look at our contract manager and see if we have any new missions. So we do have service beacons. Let me see if I accept this medical rescue. If I get a marker. Let's look around. Looking for a marker. It says rescue up in the top right. But I am not seeing a marker anywhere. So this may not work, unfortunately. I know that had been the big blocker for these, is that the markers just weren't showing up for them, and I am still not seeing it. So that may still need some further bug fixing and whatnot. So as far as I can tell, looks like the medical beacon missions aren't working right now. So let's go ahead and cancel that one. And let's see if we have some others. So it said there was courier missions again, as well as some others. I'm not seeing any delivery missions though here. Yeah, there's no delivery category. One thing I did see is it seems I don't know if these were already in as part of the 4.1 PTU, but I'm seeing some under hauling for Foxwell Enforcement, which is one of the new factions for 4.1. There is some different contracts to retrieve stolen cargo, and I believe this takes you to the new Hathor facilities. You're supposed to, and I think the idea is there's going to be like hostiles and things for you to fight off. So that is very interesting. I'll have to try one of those at some point. It's quite a bit of cargo you have to take out with you. And I don't have a cargo ship with me right now. But yeah, that's an interesting new mission for 4.1. Let's see if we got anything else noticeable right out of the gate. We have, I think they've switched to the mercenary missions to Foxwell Enforcement. But otherwise I'm not seeing anything else that's like brand new at the moment. So it doesn't look like the Courier missions are showing up or anything like that, or the Handyman missions that we're supposed to be in. So those may need some further iteration. But yeah, it looks like we'll have to check those again in a future patch. Okay, so I thought I'd come to Pyro and check and see if there's any additional missions here, because I know that I think the Handyman missions maybe were meant to be in Pyro. So I came to Bloom. Let's go ahead and check our contracts. Oh, look at that. There's some delivery missions and some maintenance missions. Okay. All right. Let's go try a delivery mission first. Okay, let's see here. Let's try this one, Cave Raid. They recently got a delivery item that we want. They hit it in a cave near Shepherd's Rest, and there's a handful of mercenaries. Okay, so we got to raid the cave, grab the goods, bring them to the Golden Riviera on Pyro 3, or on Bloom. So let's go ahead and let's go try and do that. Alright, we are landed on Bloom. Let's go check out this cave real quick, see if we can get what we need, and then go drop it off and see if these work. Maybe that's it right there. This looks nice. So maybe this is the mushrooms, actually. Maybe they were meant to be in these sorts of caves and not in the caves with the new minables for the Hathor locations. Not entirely sure, but I didn't see these in there, so maybe they're meant to be in these caves in Pyro. Yeah, these are cool. Yeah, I think this box right here may be what we are looking for. I think this is the scrap metal we need. Well, after looking around, I think maybe this is the box for the mission, but I don't have a tractor beam with me and I have no way to get it out. So these missions seem to kind of be working, these particular delivery missions, but they still seem quite buggy. I guess if I had a tractor beam, it would probably be easier. But the boxes also don't seem to have like a specific marker for them, which doesn't help in trying to find them either. So yeah, I think these might still need a little bit of work, but they are at least showing up now, which is good. So we'll have to check that in another patch. But for now, let's go on and let's go try and do one of the handyman missions and see if those are working. Okay, so here there is a delivery mission that I think is just within Obituary itself. So it says we're going to get something from inside Obituary and take it to the clinic. So let's see if we can do this. Maybe this will be nice and simple. So let's go over there and check that out. Okay, here is our package. So we'll go ahead and grab this and take it over to the clinic, I believe is where we're supposed to take this. Okay, looks like we just need to put it on the shelf here. We'll place it. And looks like that worked. That did it. So that delivery contract does work within the station itself. I assume there's probably a similar thing at like Checkmate and Ruin. But looks like that worked. And then when it goes on, looks like you can't take it off anymore. So that's good. Okay, so there is a delivery mission that works. Let me see if there's any handyman missions that show up. Let's see. I'm not seeing any now. So we may have to explore a little bit and see if we can find where that might give it to us. Okay, so I just quantum back to Bloom. So now let's see if we bring up the contracts, if we have any handyman missions that come up. Still not seeing any. So I think I did see some earlier, so maybe they are around. Let me try going to a different planet quick. We'll try one more time on that. Okay, here we are at Pyro 1. We're going to go ahead and check real quick. Do we have some handyman missions here? And unfortunately, I don't see any. There's a couple more delivery missions showing up, but yeah, it looks like the handyman ones aren't entirely showing up like they should. I don't think so. I might have to try another patch for that, unfortunately. So that's what it looks like. That is the state of those for now. So I think that is about going to do it for this video, looking at some of the new updates for 4.1. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is finding out that I haven't seen components at those Hathor places before, but if there's components you can loot that are the military and the stealth components in those garages or maybe other places, that basically makes it so you don't have to go to contested zones, and that's an alternative to being able to get the military and stealth and other components that you otherwise can't buy. So I'm going to have to do some more testing on that. Maybe we'll do in maybe the video tomorrow or something like that. We'll go around and poke around a little bit more and see if we can find some other components hidden in those garages or other parts of the outpost. But that is by far, I think, the most interesting thing from today's patch. Let me know down in the comments what you think of these most recent changes. What are you looking forward to the most about 4.1, and any other questions you may have. So yeah, I'll keep making videos about what's new. There's going to be an ISC on Thursday going over apparently the new ship or vehicle coming in with 4.1. I have not heard anything, any leaks or anything on that yet. But on Thursday, we'll make sure to take a look at that ISC and see what the new vehicle is going to be and break it down for y'all. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And until then, I will see you next time.